All right, let's talk about a tool that I'm betting a lot of you have heard of, maybe even tried, the Pomodoro Technique. But here's the thing. We're going to go way beyond just setting a 25-minute timer. We're going to reframe this whole thing and turn it into a seriously powerful system for learning. So let's dive in and see how a simple timer can completely change the way you study and work.
You know that feeling, right? You've got this massive project or a beast of an exam to prep for, and it feels like you're standing at the bottom of a giant mountain. It's so big, so intimidating that you just freeze. The sheer size of it is paralyzing, and you have no idea where to even start.
And believe it or not, the first step to scaling that mountain, to actually getting started, begins right here, with a tomato. Well, okay, to be specific, a tomato-shaped kitchen timer. It's the simple little gadget that inspired one of the most effective productivity techniques ever created.
So why is it so hard to just begin? The psychology behind it is actually pretty straightforward. Our brains, well, they're just not wired to handle huge, vague goals. That feeling of being overwhelmed, that's a massive trigger for procrastination. It's our brain's way of saying, nope, too big, let's go watch cat videos instead. And this slide right here, this just perfectly captures the whole problem and the solution. On the left, you've got learn photosynthesis. That's not a task. It's a giant, scary blob of a goal. It's a recipe for procrastination. But now look at the right. Read pages 34 to 40 on light-dependent reactions. See? Suddenly it's concrete. It's manageable. And you know what? It's actually easy to start. This is the whole secret sauce we're going to build on. And that brings us to this brilliant, simple solution that a university student named Francesco Cirillo came up with back in the late 1980s. He called it the Pomodoro Technique. Named after that little tomato timer he used. Pomodoro is Italian for tomato. At its heart, the technique is just incredibly simple. It's a system for breaking down your work or your studying into these short, focused sprints. You're not committing to 3 grueling hours of work. No way. You're just committing to the next 25 minutes. Anyone can do 25 minutes, right? So here's the entire game plan. It's so easy. Step 1, pick one task. Step 2, set a timer for 25 minutes. 3, focus on only that task. When the timer rings, you stop, period. Then you take a quick 5-minute break. You do that 4 times and boom, you've earned yourself a longer break, about 15 to 30 minutes to really recharge. That's the whole loop. Simple. The whole system is really built on 4 key numbers. The first and most famous is 25. That's your magic number. 1 Pomodoro of pure, intense, undivided focus. Then there's 5. That's your short break. It's just enough time for your brain to take a breath and reset without losing momentum. Next up is 4. That's the magic number of Pomodoros you do to complete 1 full cycle. It's a substantial block of work, about 2 hours total. And finally, maybe the most important number, 15. Or up to 30. This is your longer break. This is absolutely essential. It's where your brain actually consolidates information and prevents burnout. Seriously, do not skip this part. Okay, so we know how to do it. The steps are easy. But let's get into the why. Why is this simple system so incredibly effective? Well, there's actually some really powerful psychology at work here. And this quote just nails it. Instead of facing this long, draining marathon of studying that just depletes all your energy, you're doing a series of short, high-energy sprints. It's a total mindset shift that keeps your focus sharp and your motivation from flatlining. I mean, think about it. This system is basically designed to take down all our biggest learning enemies. It beats procrastination by making tasks tiny. The timer creates a sense of urgency, which sharpens your focus. Those mandatory breaks, they're your defense against burnout. And by tracking your sessions, you get this brutally honest look at where your time is really going. All right, now this is where we really level up. This is the part that most people miss. The timer itself, that's not the magic. The real secret is that the Pomodoro Technique is actually a framework. It's an engine that you can use to power proven, science-backed learning strategies. This right here is the real aha moment. This completely shifts the goal. We're not just managing our time anymore, we're building an active learning ritual. The whole point is to move away from just passively highlighting a textbook and toward actually engaging with and, retaining the information for the long haul. So what does a supercharged learning cycle actually look like? Well, check this out. In your first Pomodoro, you're just gathering info. Think of it as attending a lecture or reading a chapter. Then, in the second Pomodoro, you do the homework. You close the book and try to recall everything you just learned from memory. For the third, you use the Feynman Technique. You try to teach the concept out loud to an imaginary person. This is amazing because it ruthlessly exposes any gaps in your understanding. And finally, in the fourth Pomodoro, you're in the lab, applying the concept, solving problems, and connecting it to other things you already know.
Okay, theory is great, but let's make this super practical. How can you use this system for real-world learning challenges, like right now? Well, here are some ready-to-use playbooks for you. This slide is basically your action plan. Just look at the exam prep scenario. You're not just vaguely studying for the exam. No, you're skimming theorems in Pomodoro 1, then actually solving problems in Pomodoro 2. In P3, you redo those same problems from memory, and in P4, you mix up different problem types to test yourself. You see, every single 25-minute block has a distinct active purpose. This is what drives real deep learning. Okay, to wrap this all up, let's go over a few absolutely crucial tips to make sure this technique really works for you, so you can get the most out of every single session. 3 final tips to make this system stick. First, protect your breaks like they're sacred. They are not optional. Don't check email, don't scroll social media, just let your brain rest. Second, measure what you actually produce, not just the time you put in. Before you start, ask yourself, what will I have finished at the end of this Pomodoro? And finally, have a plan for distractions. Keep a notepad next to you. When a random thought pops into your head, just jot it down and get right back to work. You can deal with it later. So, we've come full circle, right back to that overwhelming mountain. The Pomodoro Technique gives you the tools, the ropes, the footholds, to break it down into a series of small, manageable climbs. It's so much more than a timer. It's a system for focused action and deep learning. So the only question left is, what mountain are you going to conquer with your first Pomodoro?